Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Elsie and you are on Essentials with Elsie. So today I'm going to talk about how to build a consistent life of prayer. We are living in a busy world. There's a lot of things happening around us. We have so much going on our phones, in our houses, on our TVs, everything around and in between. There's always something that demands our attention. But there's also something that demands your attention that is very important. It is a lifeline of every Christian life, and it's what is called prayer. But you're going to agree with me that prayer is not an easy place. It's not an easy thing to do every day. It comes a time when you feel dry in your life, when prayer becomes really, really hard. You wonder how I can't just open my mouth and begin to say something. If you have not experienced that life or that season in your life, you are blessed. But I'm sure a lot of us have experienced that dry season in our life where nothing seems to work when it comes to prayer. You tried this, you tried that, you just feel dry. And when you pray, it feels like your prayers are hitting the ceiling. And when you pray, it feels like you're praying amiss. When you pray, you feel like nothing is working. You don't really feel that connection with God. I made this video just to talk about how to build a consistent life of prayer, where you constantly are communicating with your Father, where you are constantly in tune with His will, where you're constantly under the shadow of His wings, where you're constantly on His feet. It's not easy to be here because we are living in a very crazy world, busy world, and we also on top of that have an enemy that wants to take you away from the presence of God, distracting you with everything that is around you. And even when you have a prayer time that you usually have to pray, you will find that there's something that then happens around that prayer time that always distracts you from praying. So I want to give you some tips on how you can keep a consistent life of prayer. These tips have helped me, and I believe they're still helping me up to this day. But I wanted to share with you today because I believe that this can change your life for good. The first thing that I want to encourage you is to set a time of prayer. I'm going to explain this. Set a time of prayer by building a routine. So build a routine throughout the day. What time do you pray? What time do you do other things? I never thought routine, before I started building routines around my life, I didn't think they were that important until when I started to build them and I see the change that they brought into my life. It helped me make progress in most things, helped me make progress in my career, made me progress in my social life, as well as helped me progress in my spiritual life. When you build a routine, you are building habits. And when a habit becomes part of you, it becomes engrafted in you, is something that you can't just do without. So if you want to build a prayer life that is consistent, build a routine, make a schedule for prayer, and tell yourself this is the time for prayer for me. So now I want to come to the second one. The second one is be flexible enough to move as well your time of prayer, because I will give you this. There are times where you say, okay, I pray at 5 a.m. But what if that day something happened, you overslept, and your time of prayer is 5 a.m., then 5 a.m. is gone. Are you going to just wake up? No. Make sure that when you're setting up your schedule or your routine and you say, okay, 5 a.m. I pray. If 5 a.m. doesn't happen that day, the routine should still remain the same. I start my day with prayer. I finish my day with prayer. It does not matter what time it starts. I will have to start with prayer. If something gets distracted and it started first, then the very next thing that has to happen is prayer. Whatever happens, prayer has to be the first thing that you do. So if 5 a.m. was a prayer time, if anything changes and you wake up at 6 o'clock is your prayer time. So as you're building your schedule, make sure you are also flexible enough to say, I am going to pray, even if it's not 5, I'm going to make sure prayer is done in my day. Don't allow a day to go without prayer. The third thing I'm going to talk about that I feel like has helped me the most, and it's been amazing, it's brought amazing results to my life, is literally joining prayer groups. Prayer groups are a beautiful way to stay consistently praying. Prayer groups consist of so many people. Not everyone will be in the same season at a particular time. If you are experiencing a dry season when it comes to prayer, someone else is in their flowing season, and they might actually help you, to ignite your prayer life to that place. So being part of a group helps to keep you praying. So today, if you haven't joined any prayer group, make sure you find yourself a prayer group that will keep you praying. Because I remember that there was a day that I saw my prayer group, phone call. I told myself that day I'm not joining. Today I'm not really feeling it. And when that call came, I went in. I was part of it. So it's just about showing up. And I kept on asking myself, but I don't feel like I'm making any progress when it comes to praying in the group. But I kept on feeling that the more I joined the group prayer times, the more I'm slowly becoming more prayerful. And I've actually seen that bringing results in my own personal prayer time. It's now, it has become easier. So now, if you are going to build a consistent life of prayer, make sure you set yourself time to pray. Making sure you set yourself routines that are also flexible. Make sure you get yourself some group of people that you can pray with every day. These days we have technology. WhatsApp is free, not free, but WhatsApp is available. Instead of just chatting up and down, you can actually connect with other people that are praying and pray together. And then the fourth thing that I would recommend that will help you to build a consistent life of prayer is to explore all forms of prayer. There's prayer of thanksgiving, there's request prayer, there's worship time, there's praise. You can't always be asking every time. It's always, God, what about this? God, what about that? If it means there's a day you're just going to be there worshiping, you're just going to be in there praying for other people. You're just going to be in there. I know the most common type of prayer that we usually pray is a prayer of request. But find other forms of prayer that you can offer to God every day. It doesn't have to be asking this and asking that every day. There are days where you can just go in and fellowship with the Father, hear Him. There are days where you can just go and tell him how good He is. There are days where you can just go in and talk to Him about another person. Pray for another person. There, you are getting frustrated because you don't pray prayers, or all types of prayers. And the Bible says pray in all types of prayers and with thanksgiving. But I feel like most times we are always constantly going at the prayer of request. That's why over time we get tired, we get frustrated, because if you don't see certain things happening as well, you feel like, but I have put in the time, I have prayed. But for you to be consistent, spice it up, take different types of prayer each and every day, find ways, pray for others, thanksgiving. You can request, yes, but it shouldn't just be the only thing that you're doing. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about today. I hope you are blessed. I hope you're going to take this advice and start applying it in your life. Make sure you set yourself time for prayer every day. Thank you so much. That was it from me for today. I hope you are blessed. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. What helps you build a consistent life of prayer? Maybe I might also learn from you and see how I can also add that tip to my own life. Thank you so much, guys. Have a beautiful evening, morning, depending on where you are watching me from. Bye-bye.